And we are underway in the 2025 ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship. Long battle for the opening draw, and it's awarded to Boston College. So the Eagles earned the opening possession. A Boston College team where their lone loss came to this North Carolina team. 18 turnovers in that first meeting. Certainly have to clean that up for this championship, Shan.
That was very uncharacteristic with Boston College. A lot of them were self-made errors by the team. But don't worry, that has been reminded to them that they need to take care of the ball, and they've cleaned things up.
A rocket from Maria Themelis, and it's closest to the ball as it goes out. The officials give it to North Carolina.
And those are the hustle plays that are going to be remembered in this game. Every last possession is going to count.
North Carolina trying to get their way back atop the ACC. They won 6 straight conference championships from 2016 to 2022, but the last 2 have belonged to Boston College.
This is something we saw in the regular season matchup. Number 22, Michaela O'Connor, is electing to face guard Ashley Humphrey. She's the facilitator of the offense, so they're trying to deny her the ball.
It'll be interesting to see if North Carolina attacks the face guard or plays 6v6. Right now, Humphrey way out of the way, allowing her teammates to work. This is Olivia Vergano. And now Chloe Humphrey, Ashley's younger sister. Loses the handle, recovers it.
Excellent slide for Boston College. They wanted to create that time and room for Chloe Humphrey, but Boston College read that well defensively.
And Sheehan, when you go against a man-to-man defense like Boston College, they're going to try to isolate matchups that they like.
Kaylee Harden goes to goal, denied by Shea Dolce. Right now, the nation's top goalie. An incredible 56% save percentage on the year. She has never lost an ACC tournament game. She's been starting since her freshman year. And BC gets the save on one end and the opening goal on the other. Mia Mascone, the transfer from Brown, opens the scoring in this ACC championship game.
After a little bit of a shaky start for both teams, Boston College transitions this ball well. Rachel Clark gets it over to Mascone, and she just drives the cage hard. Excellent hard bouncer. Rachel Clark starts this play, though, by getting the ball off the clear and attacking hard before UNC is able to set up defensively. And Mascone coming off a great semifinal game where she was the assisting play. This time she steps up and gets a score.
And Sheehan, when you attack with the gas pedal on in transition, it's so hard for a defense to orchestrate their slide patterns. So you saw Mascone dodge there with no slide in sight.
A big point of emphasis, Sheehan and Charlotte, coming out of the practice yesterday from head coach Acacia Walker for Boston College, was the attackers, like Rachel Clark, coming and meeting the ball in transition. The defense should not have to transition the ball 70 yards. That, you see, sparked it.
Great look at the draw setup. This is an area that Boston College, if there's any weakness, they have struggled a bit here because they have ripped out Lydia Colasante, which was a huge factor. She's been out with an injury, and she was a huge factor in winning those draw controls. So look for them to make some adjustments, but good win by UNC.
And a lot of the draws, Sheehan, that we saw in the regular season matchup went out to that circle area and became a battle for the 50-50 ground ball. One that Boston College won in the regular season matchup, but that's an area of emphasis today.
Olivia Vergano weaves in and scores. Olivia Vergano, the lethal lefty, with an immediate answer for North Carolina to tie it at 1.
Olivia Vergano, the senior transfer from Virginia Tech, has played with so much juice this season. She balances out this offense so well and fearlessly dodges right there. She understands that she's attacking off of the ball movement. Again, no slide comes, so she gets to that area right in front of the goal circle that is so hard to stop if you're a goalkeeper. Vergano can beat you over the top and underneath.
Head coach Jenny Levy in her 30th season as the head coach of North Carolina, started this program 3 decades ago. She has been to 16 previous ACC tournament finals, an incredible record. 7-9 in those championship games. Looking to get back atop the ACC. Her team is dominating the draw to start this championship game.
Sophie Student for UNC does a great job tracking where the ball is going, can win it to herself, can direct it to the circle players.
And she was another one of those players for this North Carolina team that did not play a season ago due to injury, but her presence is massive for this Tar Heels team.
The Tar Heels playing with confidence. Eliza Osborne, the fearless freshman, fires North Carolina in front.
This is how you want your freshman playing when it comes to tournament time. Osborne handled this ball. She's got the space. Excellent look here. People cutting through, creating a lane to goal. This gives her wide open, goes in hard, shoots before the pressure's able to get to her. She's long and smooth and just does a great job of slipping that by Dolce. I think Dolce bit a little bit. You can see her fall to the ground as Osborne fires this one in.
One of my favorite parts of this play was the way that Caroline Godine, number 4 for North Carolina, was directing that traffic. And Sheehan, you mentioned the spacing that she had. That's because her teammates cleared through for her, and the slide was so far away.
The common denominator for both of these teams, especially on the offense, is the depth that they have, but it's also the competitive depth. You talk about Eliza Osborne. She's certainly not playing like a freshman. 30 points in her first campaign in a Tar Heel uniform,
which is so hard to make an impact on either one of these teams. And both of these teams have a lot of first-year players making big-time contributions.
2 goals in just 28 seconds for North Carolina to go in front. These teams have so much firepower that you have to be ready. Quick strike potential. Here's Emma Lapinto. And now McKenna Davis, number 3 in maroon and gold, the quarterback of this Eagles offense, finds Molly Driscoll. Trying to run through a double team, whizzes that wide.
So the double team is coming from UNC. Boston College needs to figure out where that open player is, and they need to be in a position to receive the ball.
Davis finds Mascone, who buries it low. Mia Mascone, she's got both Eagles goals to start this championship clash.
This Boston College offense is so lethal when they manipulate a slide package. The double team went early to Molly Driscoll, and then off the ball movement, McKenna Davis dishing on the doorstep. She is the quarterback of the offense. Her eyes are always up, but the key here is she waited until she grabbed 2 Tar Heel defenders and skipped that ball over the crossbar to Mia Mascone. That 3-player triangle on the crease is so tough to guard.
Mascone, just textbook there. Catches it, fake high, shoot low. She led the nation in points per game last year. Transfer from Brown. Has stepped up in really big games. Had a great game in the regular season meeting and coming off a 5-assist performance in the semifinals against Stanford.
Yeah, had 3 goals in that regular season meeting you just referenced for Acacia Walker's team. Another draw control win for Boston College. Shea Baker, plenty of speed. Thought she might have gone to goal there. So dangerous on the draw. Baker, the junior All-ACC first teamer, best defender of this Eagles team as well.
And she can score.
Colbert misfires.
I think it's really important, though, and she does a great job of recognizing when it's time to push it, when you're supposed to be delivering the ball to your offense, and when it's time to, just set up.
McKenna Davis. So crafty, goes behind the back, almost a spectacular finish. BC quick off the restart, Lapinto.
Similar style of defense that North Carolina plays to Boston College's. Spacing is key to set up your Dodgers for success.
Shot clock with 25 seconds on it. Lapinto curls around the cage. In attack mode, great save. Betty Nelson, her first of the day, to deny Lapinto from point-blank range.
Betty Nelson only played one half when these two teams met in the regular season. Freshman Lexi Zank came in the second half. 4 saves, 4 goals allowed. So they have a strong goalie tandem, but Betty Nelson comes out hot, closes the angle on Lapinto, who played the leverage game here, was patient, but coming out on a high arc was Nelson to take that one away.
Too much on that shot. North Carolina has the backup.
And this is an area, if you're in a face guard, this is one of the ways you can get your touches on end-line runouts.
Ashley Humphrey, her first touch of the day. Couldn't get it cleanly there. And sometimes when you're getting face guarded, you know this, Charlotte, you force it when you have the ball. Might have been a force there from Humphrey. Kate Levy goes down. Hard foul.
Oh, she's signaling for review. She looks like she's bleeding coming out of the mouth, and if it was contact made to the face with a stick, that could be a yellow card.
And that's Kate Mothers and also North Carolina's head coach, Jenny Levy. Yeah, clearly blood coming from Kate's mouth there.
And you can see her win. So it looks like on that initial stick check, a stick to the face, any head contact made with a stick should be a yellow card. And we have learned you can review fouls that could be cardable. We'll see if it looks like the officials are going to take the timeout to look at the review.
Well, Stanford's head coach of the semifinal against Boston College challenged 2 fouls that were not issued a card originally that she said went to video review because in the rule book, a cardable foul is reviewable. So if you think it should have been a cardable foul, you can initiate a review.
And that's something we had not seen until that semifinal match this season, as video review is new to women's lacrosse.
It's almost the shaft of that stick makes contact. It's hard to see there. Obviously, with the blood, we know that something happened. There you can see, there's face contact. So that should be awarded a yellow card, which UNC would get possession of the ball, and Boston College would be down a player for up to 2 minutes.
In that regular season meeting that we keep referencing, the cards were a real problem for Boston College. North Carolina scored 3 woman-up goals in that game. So limiting the cards, a huge key to this game for Acacia Walker and the Eagles.
This looks like it's an official review, but for each team, they do have 2 permitted coaches reviews that they can ask for.
These 2 coaches, Jenny Levy and Acacia Walker, have a way of strongly encouraging the officials to ignite an official review.
And we've heard coaches all season long trying to ask the officials to maybe relook at a play, whether it's a goal-scoring play, a cardable foul. A lot of times the crease area, that goal circle area, it can be cause for confusion. Did a player enter into it? Were they pushed inside of it?
Okay, after further review, the ruling on the field is overturned. There will be a yellow card assessed to number red 24 for dangerous in the play. And we'll have number 13 taking the shot, and I should have subbed in for her because she had blood. 13 is the person who's taking the shot on the first.
So mother asking daughter here, Jenny to Kate, are you okay to take this free position? She was just getting attended to with an ice pack.
Good news for Kate Levy, 13, in a Tar Heel uniform. Her teeth are intact, so it's just a bloody lip. The athletic training staff put some Vaseline on her lips, which stops the bleeding. No blood on her uniform somehow, some way, despite how her lips look.
Well, she will not be able to take the field, which would nothing hurts more than when you are getting fouled and you're not able to take that 8-meter pre-position shot. Got to stop the bleeding. Looks like Kylie Motice will take possession of the ball on the 8-meter. So UNC will be up a player for up to 2 minutes. They're very good at taking 8-meter shots. So this can be a very high percentage shot.
But a difficult angle with a right-handed dominant player. Seen players score from this angle, though.
I like this one going against a right-handed goalie. If she can just edge in a little bit to the center, and then she's got the whole non-stick side free, but we'll see what she opts to do. No defender right now lined up to her right hand, or the right hash mark, so if I was her, I'd take it all the way in.
Passes out of it, which is a bit of a surprise.
And sometimes teams like to get their power play units set up, thinking that they could get a better opportunity off of a strong possession woman up.
First test for Boston College's woman down defense going against a lethal Carolina power play. They had Motice right in the middle there. Missed her, but Marissa White reloads for this Carolina power play.
And when you are a woman down or a woman up for North Carolina, Ashley Humphrey will not be face guarded.
Trying to find Chloe Humphrey on the inside. Dolce read it the whole way.
And this is why I like taking that 8-meter. There was nobody on her right-hand side. I think it's a high percentage shot. I would have taken it. Of course, if you miss the cage on that and you have a turnover, you'd be saying we should have held on. But great defensive play, and Boston College can look to kill this power play.
Because, Sheehan, there's no guarantee you're going to get a look as good as the one you had, and now Boston College can kill this power play.
Here comes the swarming trap over the restraining line by this North Carolina transition defense.
That was a risky pass for Boston College right on the end line.
McKenna Davis goes to goal, shorthanded, stuffed by Betty Nelson. What a save. Davis showing the confidence to go to goal, woman down, but it gives the ball back to North Carolina, still woman up here for just under 30 seconds.
Take a look at this save. The move by McKenna Davis to get to the inside. She fakes it, she protects her stick, evades the crease, and Betty Nelson, excellent job tracking that shot.
You see she's playing on such a high arc when she is facing those shots on the goal circle right in front of the crease.
And when you come out as a goalie on that high arc, Charlotte, as you mentioned, it decreases the angle, so it's tougher for an offensive player to shoot around.
Humphrey finds Motice. Dolce matches it with a spectacular save. The goalie standing tall in this ACC championship.
And you know, Charlotte, with these big-time games, we often see the goalies play off of each other. Anything you can do, I can do better, and it goes back and forth.
And Sheehan, you just mentioned what it does to a shooter when they come out and pressure you with that high arc. It rushes your decision-making, and you forget to add a layer of deception to your shot.
Everyone's talking about the goal scorers on these two teams, and for good reason. They've been phenomenal all season long, but the goalies so strong in this matchup as well. Behind the back, Lopinto beats Nelson. Somebody's got to get that to SportsCenter for a top 10 play.
Stop me if you've heard this before, Jay. And Emma Lopinto behind the back in a championship game. Realizes where the pressure is, feeling the momentum off her goalkeeper, Shea Dolce. The goalie battle is hot early, but it's Lopinto feeling topside pressure, cans it behind the back.
College with the nose in front, 3-2. Emma Lopinto, a spectacular behind the back finish. From far out, Charlotte, how do you generate the power here if you're Lopinto?
Well, you got to read the defensive pressure first. She sees that her defender is overcommitted topside, and she uses the torque, getting her stick off of her body, rotating through the shot. And it's actually the right play there. She has her defender committed on the front side of her body, so that's her only option to take a clean shot. And that is why you practice the stick work and the creativity. She has such a flair to her game. If you watch the semifinal game, she put on some show-stopping plays, and that might be the most beautiful of the bunch.
And Boston College allowed UNC to penetrate that 12-meter. UNC saying defensively, we got to keep him out of the 12. Kayla Wood, the defensive coordinator, said down and out and trust your one-on-one matchups. You can't let Lopinto operate in that much space.
Speaking of matchups, this is a heavyweight one right here. Number 2, Chloe Humphrey going against Shea Baker, the veteran defensive leader for Boston College.
Humphrey trying to work her way by, scores on the run! Chloe Humphrey! Her head coach, Jenny Levy, has said she's never seen anything like her, and you see why as she ties it at 3.
What a goal for the freshman, Chloe Humphrey. Going against the junior captain, Shea Baker, many think the best defender in the nation. She's got the time, the room, and then this finish. Talk about some range. She drops her stick low, which generates the power, switches to her left hand, and gets this one by shooting on the run. Makes Shea Dolce in cage really have to work for that, but she's able to slip it by. That's a tough matchup, but you got to give credit to the surrounding and supporting cast on UNC's offense. No one was able to slide to her. You got to give her time to work, and this one paid off.
The skill that impressed me the most about number 2 for North Carolina is her two-handedness, her ability to shoot from distance with both hands seamlessly, so smoothly on the run, and when she plants her feet for an outside shot.
You see a goal like that, and you think Chloe Humphrey's a natural lefty. Technically right-handed, but she can beat you both ways. That goal to tie this championship at 3. And North Carolina has scored all 3 of their goals when they win the draw. And they win it here. They go right back to Chloe Humphrey, 2 in white. This time feeding. And it sets up a shooting space violation, which creates a free position for North Carolina.
That was a beautiful pass. You switch the field, and then you draw the shooting space as the defense is trying to recover. That's one of the things that they were trying to work on. Eliza Osborne, number 15 in white, the freshman, steps up.
One-on-one with Dolce. Osborne with too much on it. And Boston College closest to the ball, wins the run out and earns possession.
We saw North Carolina steal one of those early in the first quarter. Boston College steals one there. It's all about the little plays that start to add up. But Sheehan, you mentioned the space they had on the backside to draw that shooting space. They know double teams are going to come. On both ends of these fields, you got too much star power in terms of dodging that there will be double teams. It's about who will win the race to the backside.
4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. What a start to this championship game. Tied at 3. Mia Mascone, 2 of the Eagles' 3 goals today. Passes it up, trying to squeeze it into Molly Driscoll. Sophie Student got her stick in the way. And that's the first Boston College turnover of this championship game.
Boston College is great at feeding each other and assisting, but you have to be careful passing it in the inside. It can get too clogged, and UNC is great with their sticks up. Both these defenses need to be aware of the passes. They're excellent. They want to share, and they're so unselfish. Get your stick in the passing lane to come up with a turnover.
And something that Boston College struggled with when these teams met in April was the ability to find the right pass. You got to draw the slide or the double team to open up the passing lane. You can't just force a feed in before you've done the work.
North Carolina clearing it out for Kaylee Harden. And Dolce with eyes in the back of her head, intercepts the pass, finds Morgan Smith. Boston College dangerous in transition. Here's Rachel Clark, the nation's leading goal scorer, adds another one and fires BC back in front. Clark's 90th goal of the season.
One of the most underrated skills as a goalkeeper is your length and vision. She anticipates the pass to the inside, grabs it right out of the air, and triggers transition for a fast Rachel Clark. Gets topside on her defender early and knows she has to shoot before Ellie Traggio, number 2, the defender for North Carolina, gets in that shooting space lane. So that early release is what allows her to get her hands free. And we've seen the way that both these teams can run in transition. That is a beautiful display of end-to-end offense.
Rachel Clark has not been able to touch the ball much on their offensive end, but she's done an excellent job of getting that ball in the clear. She showed her blazing speed coming down, and this is the difference maker that we've seen in her the last couple weeks. She wasn't that aggressive in the regular season meeting. She had 3 goals, but only 3 shots. Since then, the coaching staff has worked with her to refuse to be denied. She is refusing to be denied. That score and take and answer, that is what they need of her.
And now 90 goals on the season for Rachel Clark. A special season continues. Just the third ever Boston College player to score 90 goals in a year, and it is far from over. North Carolina with the ball, trailing by 1. This is high-level lacrosse. Back and forth we go in the ACC championship. Here's Caroline Godin looking for Mo Tice, finds her for the score. Kylie Mo Tice, the two-way midfielder, ties it at 4.
Punch for punch, these teams are so even. Mo Tice slips into space. She's wide open. This is a great job of breaking down the defense. Caroline Godin, her hands are free. Excellent feed. Mo Tice is cutting because Godin is running one direction, passes back the other. That's what creates the opening. Great job, a quick set finish. And Shea Dolte in cage is not able to get fully set up. You can see her moving from passer to feeder.
And this is the race to the backside. We saw the double go to Marissa White, but it's the next layer of offense. She moves it twice out of the double team to Caroline Godin, who stole the show in the regular season matchup between these two. But Mo Tice is able to slice through the backside.
Big draw control win for Boston College. Under 2 minutes to play in this opening quarter, tied at 4. Are you surprised we've seen 8 goals already in this matchup?
I am, and I'm surprised that Ashley Humphrey for UNC has not been involved in any of them. She's the leading assister and the playmaker, but they've been able to have the supporting cast. That's the depth, and that's what the other players need to step up and score and do, and they have.
Only a combined 23 goals in that first meeting. On pace for more than 30 in this championship game. And a card has come out, green card. Which will send Boston College to the power play here at the end of the first quarter.
Offsides call on UNC.
So now Sam Forrest, number 8, a key part of the UNC defense, will be sidelined for up to 1 minute for the offsides violation.
She's their leader. She oftentimes matches up against the top dodging threats of opposing teams.
Well, after that last goal from Rachel Clark, I don't know how you don't go back to number 1 in maroon and gold. Acacia Walker telling us she was put on earth to score goals. She has proven to be a prolific goal scorer for BC. They find her here, gives it right back to Mascone. "20 seconds left in the power play. Molly Driscoll winds up and scores. Molly Driscoll blows it by Betty Nelson. It puts Boston College back up 5-4.
Boston College offense leads the nation in assists. This is the type of scoring that they love. Off of the ball movement, they force the defense to collapse to number 1 in maroon, and they get into their stretch shooter, the lefty, Molly Driscoll, who has the ability and the range to shoot from distance. You see she steps into that gap right there, but that gap was created off the ball moving ultra fast around the perimeter.
And one of the reasons Boston College is so successful at that is because they have so many threats offensively, and you see everyone that touches the ball, their first look is to the cage. Do they have a shot? Do they have a dodge? If not, it's a quick pass the next. So it causes the defense to have to hesitate and then rotate, and they were slow, and Molly Driscoll had all the room she needed to get that great shot off.
Boston College in a really good offensive rhythm. The Eagles have made their last 3 shots. UNC wins the draw, a chance to equalize here right before the end of the opening quarter. Clear out for Chloe Humphrey. Feeds it inside. What a finish! The shovel shot, freshman to freshman. Eliza Osborne. What a fantastic finish.
The challenge that each of these teams are presenting, and then they go and answer. BC score and UNC answer, and a crafty little move. Almost gets handcuffed with the catch. Shovels this one up, and it's a change of levels. And you can see Shea Dolce, after you read it, she gets low, mirroring where the stick is, thinking that it might just be a low shovel shot. Instead, Osborne gets it to rise, top corner. 2 goals for Osborne.
And Sheehan, again, we're seeing so much flair and creativity, but it's the right play. If Osborne switched to her left hand there, she would have gotten jammed up. She didn't have enough time as the defense was trying to collapse. So the backhand shovel shot is the right answer.
What a showcase this has been for the sport of lacrosse. We have been tied at 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4, and now 5-5. As truly 2 championship quality teams. Only one can win it. What a battle this has been in this first quarter.
You almost got a feeling, Jay, that when these 2 teams matched up in April, they both didn't play their best, and both head coaches will say that. They want and are demanding more out of their offensive weapons, and we're seeing that on full display today.
Kate Levy in attack mode, goes to goal, misfires. 7 seconds here. Clock continues to tick down. And we finish this first quarter tied at 5 between the top 2 teams in the nation, battling for an ACC championship. 10 goals, an offensive explosion. In this first quarter, we still saw some spectacular saves as well. This ACC championship game living up to this second quarter. What a first quarter. 10 goals, 5 apiece, but North Carolina did dominate the draw. We could not have asked to a better start. Back and forth. It's been a terrific lacrosse game.
You see number 12 for Boston College, Julia Colarusso, coming in on that play for the circle. You mentioned the injury to Lydia Colasante, who had such a big presence in that spot for the Eagles.
And she played in this regular season game, so it's a much different look for defense. Lydia Colasante always had a great matchup. Her presence on the draw circle was huge, and they're still adjusting. She just was lost a couple weeks ago. Got injured in the regular season Virginia game.
Lapinto trying to shake free. Going against Ellie Traggio. Finds Rachel Clark. And now McKenna Davis. That's the 3-headed monster on attack for BC.
You're seeing the early double team to number 1 in maroon, Rachel Clark.
Great quick ball movement. Off-ball players are moving. Excellent knockdown. That is what's talked about defensively. Play big, get your stick up.
Davis recovers it, tosses it into the middle. Colbert bounces it wide. Mia Mascone has the backup. Shot clock, 10 seconds left on it. Lapinto, so crafty. Can she find a goal here? Save made. Betty Nelson didn't have a great angle there, Lapinto, but the shot clock was winding down. And now Nelson on the clear finds Brooklyn Walker-Welsh.
That was a heads-up play by Betty Nelson. Makes the stop, but then also follows the ball outside that goal circle to get possession. Ashley Humphrey in the far side of your screen being face guarded. UNC has opted to remove her from the play so they can play 6-on-6. And in that regular season meeting, she's going to try to get to the ball. She's wide open. They got to get it to her.
Kaylee Harden missed her.
I think it's really important to get your face guarded players the ball, get them involved. She'll try to come up with this ground ball.
Well, it's won by Michaela O'Connor, the junior.
That's a big win from O'Connor, although it's going to go.
Gives it right back. Chloe Humphrey, quick restart. Now pulls it out, and North Carolina can reload.
Michaela O'Connor draws that assignment on number 18, Ashley Humphrey. Again, she's the facilitator. So much of this offense runs through her.
Godine splits two. Couldn't get her hands free. Chloe Humphrey weaves in and scores! Chloe Humphrey, that quick release, fires North Carolina in front. Humphrey's second goal of this championship battle, going against her former high school teammate, the goalkeeper, Shea Dolce.
The explosive change of direction by Chloe Humphrey wins her this battle right here. The quick plant step, and she gets underneath, fights back to the middle, and buries it far side, top corner. She has such elite footwork, such a fast first step. And that's what allows her to get her hands free so much of the time. She is just electric off of the dodge.
Watching Chloe Humphrey go to goal, she has almost springs in her feet. She's able to get into space. Her stick skills are phenomenal. Her dodging ability, and she just is one of those slippery players that can get by defense. We saw her weave through traffic.
Now the officials have gone over to the video review monitor, taking a look at this goal.
You saw Chloe Humphrey take contact after she buried the goal. I think they're gonna look at a push after the play.
Charlotte Sheehan, I've been told on the field it's review for a dangerous follow-through by the shooter. So I thought the same thing, Charlotte.
Interesting.
Which is also a cardinal foul, but they can review and they could possibly see the push. So it'll be interesting what they see. So let's take a look. Here's the dodge. Watch the extension of the arm. So you can see the extension of the arms and high. Does she make contact on the follow-through? But also you can see Shea Baker is running into it and extending her arm.
Yeah, that Shea Baker's initiating all of that contact.
I think if they're gonna...
It was a coach's challenge by Acacia Walker, too.
Interesting.
See, to me, it looks like Shea Baker would be, with the extension of the arms, could be cardable and also moves into the shot. So I would think it would be a card on Shea Baker, Boston College. I don't think it would be a dangerous follow-through, in my opinion, because I think she moved her elbow into that and moved into the shot. But we will await the officials' review.
And as we wait the final review, something we all learned this week is that coaches have the opportunity pregame to look at the monitor that the officials are looking at right now to see the different camera angles in order to call a review. So,
and sometimes it's very tough to tell from certain angles, but the crew this week have provided such amazing footage to be able to see the details up close and see where these fouls are occurring.
Now, teams can review a couple things, a couple areas. If the goal passes the goal line, the time, if there's a cardable foul.
Okay, after further review, the ruling on the field stands. It is a goal. We're starting with a draw. You will lose a VR and a timeout.
Lynn, it's got to go both ways.
I'm surprised Acacia Walker would challenge that this early in the game. And if anything, that replay showed, and you said it best, that if anything, it looked more like a foul against the Boston College defender than it did a dangerous follow-through on Chloe Humphrey.
And we've seen this games often on TV. It depends on the angle. So with the angles we saw, that's what it appeared. Now, for a coach's challenge, you can use it to confirm or overturn yellow and red card fouls, and then also to identify yellow and red card fouls during the act of shooting. So
Russo, another big-time drop control for BC.
I love how McKenna Davis and Emma Lopinto work with the feeding behind the cage.
And here's Lopinto curling around. Can't get her hands free, passes it off. Ricochets right back to Lopinto. Ellie Traggio trying to dig out the ground ball. Lopinto lost her stick. Long battle for this ground ball. The officials award possession to stay with Boston College.
Something this North Carolina defense does extremely well is they recover on a string. So when the double team goes to the Dodger, when they release back to the backside, they get there quickly and they communicate through it.
Davis let that one fly. Known as a feeder, but certainly a capable goal scorer. Too much high heat there. Mascone loses possession. Sophie Student has it for North Carolina. The Tar Heels can run in transition. North Carolina has numbers. Sam Forrest storming in. Bouncer goes! Sam Forrest, the All-ACC defender, with a great transition goal there. And North Carolina leads by 2.
This is a special goal for Sam Forrest. We saw her get beat by Rachel Clark when she took her to cage in transition, and then she was sidelined with a green card. But here, she wants redemption, and she gets it. Her head is up, and here she is off to the races. Where is anyone on BC? She finds it, and that bouncer, a little bit different of a bouncer. It's higher in that crease, tough to read, but a huge goal, and only the second goal this season for the star defender.
Shan, when you run in transition and you have numbers and it's your defender clearing the ball up, a lot of times defenses are hesitant to slide to the defender because they don't think they're gonna pull the trigger and shoot. So they stay conservative on their matchups, and that leaves Sam Forrest wide open. We talk about all the time, Shan, the way that these defenders for North Carolina stay on in transition as threats, and it generates so many options in transition.
It's a big momentum goal, whether it's in the men's game or the women's game, when the defenders come down and score. Now, it can also suck away momentum when they come down and it is saved, but that was the right opportunity, and she would have gladly taken the slide. If somebody had come earlier on, then you're going to leave a more dangerous option open on the UNC offense, but a great take. It's got to feel good for Sam Forrest, who I know wants some of those earlier plays back.
Looks like we're getting a stick check. So we have had a couple official reviews, and now you get another call by the officials here, which is unique to the sport of lacrosse.
And they're checking the stick of number 33, Sophie Student, the draw taker. Oftentimes you see draw takers use a very specific type of stick to try to gain an advantage and earn possession for your team.
And this is unusual to have all 4 officials communicating right now. They're not looking at the stick presently right now. So the officials have the option to take a stick if they think it's illegal to look at it. Coaches can challenge to have somebody look at the stick if the stick is found to be illegal. So as often you take the draw taker stick because it can be illegal in terms of maybe what a player individually did to manufacture it with the stringing. If it's illegal, it's a non-releasable card. But did they do a pocket check? They didn't go to the sideline and do
what
measurement.
Could be illegal about it?
So one is a pocket, which we see being checked after every goal being scored. So that's one thing that you look at. For a draw stick, and the field sticks also, the stringing. You can have too many shooting strings. You could have drilled holes in them that don't belong. So just kind of, if you take the stick that you buy off the market and alter it in a certain way, it could be pinched. They'll do it the length. I didn't see any of those measurements being done. So I'm unsure of what they discussed, but we're back to the center draw.
So they were checking for the butt of the stick, the bottom of the stick. In the rule book, you can't have any sharp edges at the bottom. She had tape over it, so no sharp edges.
And that's about safety. So if you had the exposed end of the shaft is metal, and if there was sharp edges, but you can have either a butt end, a cap at the end, or cover it with tape. Thank you, Dana, because we were unsure of what that. I didn't see the rule, the measurement come out.
Well, this game has definitely shifted in tempo. First quarter back and forth, free-flowing. This second quarter, very stop-start. Harder to get a rhythm offensively.
That's what makes these two teams so elite, is the adjustments. Not just at halftime, but in-game, in timeouts and huddles. Constantly seeing what the other team is giving you and adjusting.
Mascone, 2 goals today, passes it off this time. Molly Driscoll, dangerous lefty, goes to goal. Betty Nelson reading it very well, makes the stop. And a foul on the clear, so North Carolina once again delivers defensively. Boston College has struggled in this second quarter, shooting 0 for 5, Shan.
And that Molly Driscoll shot, I would have liked her to take another second or a different option. I think there could have been something high percentage, but give credit to Betty Nelson and Sophie Student defensively. She does a great job, Student, in winning the draw controls, but defensively she comes up with some key ground balls and aids in their transition.
And we know her as one of the best two-way middies during her time at Virginia Tech, but for the Tar Heels team, she's playing more of a defensive midfield role.
Humphrey has a step. Good slide there by Boston College to deny Chloe a clear goal look.
And UNC just ran people into her. They got to give her better space. She can beat her defender. BC keeps changing the matchup on her.
Kaylee Harden spins her way free. Dolce the save. Olivia Vergano scoops it up on the rebound. Shot clock resets. North Carolina still on possession.
You're seeing the matchup switch around because you have so many dodging threats that you have to double team. And when you double team somebody, all the matchups get shaken up as you try to recover to the open player.
More space out here. Again, Ashley Humphrey being face guarded, and she is taking her defender all the way out to the far side of the field.
Boston College wins the ground ball, and now the Eagles can move in transition. Avery Hudson, the freshman who's played big minutes after the Cole Sante injury. Good clear there. Boston College, 5 goals in that first quarter, scoreless in this second quarter. Charlotte, what's changed?
They're going on the first look a lot, and a lot of times, in order to find the right look, it's patience, and it's letting the offense work.
Rachel Clark dispossessed. Sam Forrest again. We saw her score just moments ago. Will she go to goal again? Boston College slides to her this time. She finds Vergano.
What a great takeaway check on Rachel Clark defensively. That rarely happens. Clark did have 5 turnovers in that regular season game, but that's a monster takeaway transition.
And you could see they slid to her because she scored early on. So this is a perfectly executed trail check.
That's a great job. And Clark is known for her tight cradle and getting into space. If you're going to call a crease violation, so that's going to still be Shea Dolce's ball. Boston College, Rachel Clark right now, she's the star. They need her to produce. I love her aggression trying to go into goal. Great defense, credit UNC. She's got to take more shots though. Just has 1 shot on the day. They need her, everyone stepping up, but they got to have her involved as well.
And Sheehan, in that regular season matchup, the big 3 that we've been talking about, Rachel Clark, Emma Pinto, McKenna Davis, a combined 8 shots between the 3 of them in that regular season matchup, and that's very uncharacteristic.
And concerning, because since that matchup, they have become extremely more aggressive in trying to force their shot. They got to create things. You can't just step back and let it come to you in these big time games. You got to be smart, but you got to push.
Mascone weaves through, everything but the finish. North Carolina doing a good job collapsing there. Their defense very dialed in this second quarter. Been difficult to break down. Davis scores Boston College's first goal of this second quarter and pulls the Eagles back within 1. And the confidence to even try something like that on a big stage like this, playing for an ACC championship.
Good look at the draw circle and the setup. The fight for these possessions is going to be key. Looks like that Boston College went early, so UNC will get possession.
And North Carolina with a 7-6 lead. It's been difficult to separate, just too much talent on the field.
We're seeing again Ashley Humphrey electing to pull herself out of the play, and it'll give her offense space to work 6 on 6.
Ashley Humphrey, 98 points on the season to lead the Tar Heels. Such an integral part of this offense, and yet they've looked pretty comfortable with her in the face guard. You see her there standing in the top corner of your screen. That's her sister Chloe. Took a hard foul there as she curled around the cage on the shot. Goggles popped off.
cross-check foul, and a yellow card is going to be awarded. Shea Baker running off the field.
That's been the matchup to watch, right, Charlotte? Chloe Humphrey going against Shea Baker.
It's as heavyweight of a battle as you get in the sport of college lacrosse. But this is something that Shea Baker struggled with in the regular season matchups, where the fouling. So got to clean it up, especially when you're going against someone like number 2.
And the problem there isn't going with your arms, extending with your arms and cross-check into the body. So Baker will be sidelined for up to 2 minutes. If you get 2 yellow cards, you're removed from the game. So she's also got to play more conservatively. They need her in this game when she gets back in. Smart for Chloe Humphrey there. Not a great angle from that hanging hash mark to reset.
You get the feeling that one day Chloe Humphrey and Shea Baker will be teammates for Team USA. Top-level talents in this sport. And going at it today. The rivalry renewed for an ACC championship. These two programs keep meeting each other in these big moments with trophies on the line. Here's Ashley Humphrey. No face guard on because Carolina's woman up on the power play. Great save, Dolce to deny Marissa White. Run out to the ball, closest to it, Boston College. Great hustle by Morgan Smith to win possession for the woman down Eagles.
Morgan Smith, the transfer from Penn, has got a lot of praise from her teammates and coaching staff. A little risky play, but heads up by Shea Dolce to get possession. But Morgan Smith has been a great addition and stepped up with the absence of Lydia Colasante. Huge on the defensive end, coming up with some great ground balls and the leadership. Acacia Walker praising a lot of the grad transfers for their leadership and the way they've been able to gel with the rest of the team.
And Shan, all 3 of them, you're seeing Mia Mascone on the offensive end from Brown, and then Maria Themelis and Morgan Smith were captains of their team a year ago. So that leadership has transferred over.
Both of these teams have done very well in the transfer portal. And that's why they've got so much quality depth. BC woman down, going to goal anyway. Davis fires it over.
BC struggled with shooting in this second quarter. Been hard to connect, just 1 goal and 3 turnovers.
Here's Rachel Clark, nation's leading goal scorer, 90 goals to her name this season. And this will be a free position with a chance to tie it at 7.
Looks like they called a 3 seconds violation on the Carolina defense. That's being within that 8 meter, longer than 3 seconds without guarding a player within a stick's length.
First free position of the game for Boston College. This is who you want taking it. Clark can't connect that time. And North Carolina closest to the ball, wins possession.
You see that battle on the end line, and you're basically guessing where you think the ball is going to go out of bounds if a shot goes wide. But heads up play, when the defense gets it, that gives you a big boost. Typically, the offense wins the majority of those end line possessions.
And that's because the defense likes to play on the interior, but we're seeing both teams come up with bonus possessions with end line runouts.
BC's goalie, Shea Dolce, really starting to heat up. She has made 4 straight saves since she allowed her last goal. Tough to do against this talented North Carolina offense. Top 2 scoring teams in the nation, battling for an ACC championship. Here's Eliza Osborne, passes off. Kate Levy, another freshman, going to goal, tripped up, offensive foul. Maria Themelis had her feet set, and it's BC ball.
I think that's a good call by the officials. The defense, they had their feet set. They were entitled to their positioning, and you could see, it looked like Levy got a little bit off balance, but fell into them.
Mascone goes to goal and scores! Mia Mascone, a first half hat trick. Ties it at 7.
Mia Mascone, she has been huge late in this season. The transfer from Brown, 2024 Ivy League Attacker of the Year. She can assist, she can dodge, she's used to playing in big-time games, led the nation with over 6.5 points per game last year, and she has taken this BC team and battled, tied it up. Been impressed with her leadership, talked with her this week, and she is so happy to be here. Just talked about how it immediately feels like family. She has dreamt of playing in these type of games, competing for an ACC championship, and has just couldn't speak higher of her teammates on this field.
And I know she led the country in points per game a season ago. She set the single season record for goals and points at Brown, but it feels like she's playing the best lacrosse of her career as of late. We know what she did in the semifinal game with 5 assists, really facilitating the offense. And today she stepped up big, owning her one-on-one matchup.
So in a scouting report, you have a player that has 5 assists in the semifinal. Do you defend her differently, and that is why she's getting the goal scoring opportunities?
That's a really good question, because oftentimes when someone has the vision in the passing, you hesitate to slide to them because you're creating offense for them. So you're seeing no slide going to Mascone, but she's showing her dodging ability.
And I think she's increasingly gotten better for this season for Boston College. So now teams are really realizing what a threat she can be, and it seems like her confidence has grown. She will call her own number and go and attack. Acacia Walker telling us that she has such competitive energy that's really unmatched, and that she's adjusted to the physicality of the game. It's a very physical game. She had the ball in her stick a lot at Brown, but she has really adjusted to the type of defenses that these ACC teams are playing.
What's amazing is UNC in a championship game has 4 freshmen on the field on the offensive end right now. Eliza Osborne, Addison Patillo, Chloe Humphrey, and Kate Levy. It's Patillo who has it here. Errant pass, Chloe Humphrey trying to chase it down, stolen away. Avery Hudson, another freshman. This one belongs to Boston College. Earns the Eagles possession with a minute to play in this first half, tied at 7.
Great ground ball for Hudson. She stayed with it. Even though it looked like Chloe Humphrey was going to get possession, she was right there, and she just waited and did not retreat, and that's why she was able to win that battle.
And Avery Hudson playing significant minutes. Due to the absence of Lydia Colasante, they moved midfielder Emma Claire Quinn, a freshman, down to the defense and insert Avery Hudson into the midfield.
30 seconds remaining in this first half. Rachel Clark passes out of the double team. It sets up a shooting space violation. Free position coming for Emma Lapinto.
Smart pass from Rachel Clark. She saw the double team coming. She could muscle it through, but you risk a turnover. I like the pass, and then Lapinto's able to draw shooting space. She's got a great shot off the 8-meter. She can step and rip this with placement.
One-on-one with Betty Nelson. Emma Lapinto winding up on the 8-meter. Steps in, lets it rip. Couldn't connect.
That's another one-out run by UNC. Boston College has got to position themselves better, that they get those second chances.
10 seconds remaining in this first half.
Those are those possessions, Charlotte, that we've been talking about. Those extra possessions, the ground balls, the 50-50, the run-outs that can go the defensive way.
North Carolina goes to goal, a bouncer just misses. And we finish this first half tied at 7.
These two teams can transition the ball in the blink of an eye, but they are battling on both ends of the field. Elite goalie play on both sides, but every possession counts, and you see the hustle plays are making the difference.
This is what we thought, similar to regular season, back and forth, number 1 offense, number 2 defense, number 1, amazing. Both these teams so evenly matched.
Now let's hear from Sam Forrest, North Carolina defender, who scored a goal in the first half, standing by with Dana Boyle.
Sam, you scored a goal in this game, unbelievable, but you're matched up against one of the best attackers in the country, in Rachel Clark. You held her scoreless. What's critical in that matchup?
Honestly, just believing myself. I know my teammates got my back. I know that I just have to do my job in order to not disappoint them.
We've done more than your job. Your speed is unmatched. You can't miss the bright neon cleats. What's the story behind those?
Originally it's because my dad, he has bad eyesight, so it helps him see me on the field, and then I just carried it throughout middle school, high school, now college.
Good stuff. You're making it look easy out there. Go rest up. Thank you.
Thank you.
The neon's usually the Boston College color on big weekends like this, but Sam Forrest in those cleats earned a big goal. Tied at 7 here at the half. Let's get you to Taylor Tannenbaum and Rachel DeCecco.
One thing that UNC is doing so well is they are dodging so hard to goal. They're getting a step on these BC defenders. BC's having to slide, and then they're moving the ball, finding the open player, and that to dodge with such confidence from Osborne is really unbelievable.
For Boston College, what have you noticed about their play in the first half?
Yeah, I think that in the first quarter, they did a great job in transition. They want to push that pace, and I think they should keep doing that. Offensively, they've got to get their stars involved, Taylor. Rachel Clark had 1 goal in that half. Driscoll had a couple. Mia Mascona, we talked about before with the hat trick. You know, the stars in a big moment like this are going to have to step up.
Yeah, Rachel Clark, as you noted, just 1 goal. Emma Pinto has 1 goal. McKenna Davis, though, with a goal and 2 assists. How about in cage? Shea Dolce, we talked about it in our pregame show. 2 great goalies in this game, but she has stepped up big, especially right there, just before heading into halftime with a big save.
Yeah, one of the things about Shea Dolce is she's making the saves, but then she initiates a lot of their transition. You saw that end-to-end goal that ended with Rachel Clark scoring. She gets the clears out quickly and gets the ball moving for BC and is a good spark for them.
If Boston College is going to win, they have to what?
Great question. They're going to have to slow down this UNC attack, do better job on the one-on-one matchups and the draw circle. You heard Coach Walker talk about it. The first quarter was very imbalanced on the draw. They tightened it up in that second quarter, but continue to fight for every possession and then defensively lock down your matchups.
If for North Carolina, they're going to win, what has to be the difference in the second half?
You know, adjustment-wise, I think they're doing pretty well. Defensively, if BC's able to get the ball moving, I think they're going to have to tighten it up a little, but offensively, you know, there's just so many weapons. So I think they just got to keep pushing, maybe a little bit more patience offensively, but I really like what I'm seeing out of UNC.
All right, we're all knotted up at halftime. 7 apiece in this ACC championship game between the top 2 teams in the country.
Rounding cast, those supporting members that are stepping up and really calling their own number.
They know who they're doubling to. Both teams, they prepared for it, but it's about the race to the backside. Who can expose as the defense overcommits?
Yeah, Ashley Humphrey relatively shut down for North Carolina. Instead of the likes of Rachel Clark, McKenna Davis, it's been Mia Mascone.
She's been phenomenal coming from the right side. She's strong, she's lengthy, she gets her stick free, chipping in 3 goals in that first half, coming off a 5-assist performance, so it's clear she's dangerous with the ball, and when the big 3 has been limited, Mascone has been able to step up.
And for North Carolina, freshman Eliza Osborne with a phenomenal first half.
She's had an impact all over this game. 4 draw controls and 2 goals on 4 shots. She's understanding that there's not a slide ready for her. And then when the Boston College defense slides to a player like Chloe Humphrey, she knows exactly what gap to be in on the backside.
You take a look at those all-ACC first-teamers, Tewaaraton nominees in the top 25. Relatively speaking, for their standards, held in check.
It's a very quiet day for all of them. And we were at the practices yesterday. It is clear that both defenses want to limit those players. I think for Boston College, it's more important. They need those big 3 more involved. The lack of shots for them is concerning.
Eliza Osborne wins the draw, scores the goal, right on cue. Eliza Osborne, a star is born here in the ACC Championship. What a start to this third quarter.
She's had an impact on the wings of this draw control unit all day. Grabs one out of the air, and she just goes right down the heart of the defense. Understanding that if you dodge in transition, it is so difficult for a defense to orchestrate a slide package. And she knows that. Just a freshman, the number 6 overall recruit coming out of high school. She has had an impact in the midfield all season long, and especially in this game today.
We were barely done showing her halftime highlights, and she adds another one and fires North Carolina in front just 8 seconds in to this second half.
I love that she wanted to push the transition there. She was getting forced to a lower angle, but saw the space in net and scores. The best offense attacks when the defense is not able to set up, and she did a great job of reading that.
Well, so far throughout this championship game, when one team scores a goal to go in front, the other team has had the answer. Boston College with possession.
We talk about the lack of the shots by the big three, and number 1 in maroon right here, Rachel Clark. Sometimes your job is to just draw the double team and keep the ball moving.
I like that she's actively asking for it. I think that was a problem in that first regular season meeting. The big offensive stars in Rachel Clark, Emma Lopinto, and McKenna Davis weren't being so aggressive. You need to be aggressive, not to force it. It's a fine line of knowing when to push and when not. And this is a good setup here. McKenna Davis on the 8-meter.
The lefty, a threat to go to goal or pass. This time, takes it herself, bounces it home. McKenna Davis ties it at 8.
This is the aggression that I'm talking about, and McKenna Davis does just that. She's known as a feeder. She easily could have tried to feed off this 8-meter, but it's not that high percentage as her going to cage, and she has proven that she can take it to goal and score. She has her head up looking like she might dish it out, but instead she penetrates through and gets a goal scored. This is when you need your senior leaders to step up, and McKenna Davis is leading the way.
Now the officials have made the signal that this will go under video review.
And it looks like they're gonna see if McKenna Davis entered into that goal circle area as she was following through. And Jenny Levy calls for this challenge.
The coaches have the iPads on the sideline. They're reviewing the plays. They're listening to the players to tell them if they think a foul's been committed. Watch the feet of McKenna Davis. You're not allowed to step on that goal circle area.
It looks like that left foot comes down.
That foot is in. Now, was she pushed? It does not look like it. Looks like her defender on the backside has space. The one next to her is just a stick. I think this goal will be called back.
14-11.
And you can see the off-ball defensive player saying she was in the goal circle there. Foot is inside the crease. So even when the ball goes in past the goal line, unless you were pushed, it should not count.
And it's so hard because your momentum is going toward goal.
And that's also why you see people go to score and they
ACC Men's Lacrosse Championship semifinals on Friday at 5. Notre Dame taking on Syracuse, and then at 8, North Carolina and Duke. And all ACC has you covered with the pregame show beginning 4:30 on Friday. The officials have emerged. Let's get the call.
Okay, after further review, the ruling on the field is going to be overturned. There is no goal. Regulating on her 7. So you did lose your second review? Come on.
I don't know why Jenny Levy's frustrated, because her coach's review was successful. The goal was overturned, no goal. It's going to be North Carolina ball, and yet the Hall of Fame head coach still very frustrated.
Jay, she's frustrated because she felt like that should have been on the officials. They should have seen that crease and called the review for themselves instead of her having to use one of them.
Got it. So she's upset that she had to use one of her reviews. So no goal for McKenna Davis. Keeps North Carolina in front, 8-7. Tar Heels with the ball. Shea Dolce, the BC goalie, much better in the second quarter. 5 saves after allowing 5 goals in the first quarter. Marissa White, 21 in white, been quiet for her standards in this championship game, goes into attack mode.
Ashley Humphrey not being face guarded.
Well, she was completely shut off in that first half. Leads this Tar Heels team with 98 points on the season. Most of those assists, always looking to feed. Ashley curling around the cage, nothing there. Shot clock ticks down to 20. Vergano, the lefty. Good defense here by BC. 8 seconds to shoot. Godin. No angle. Feeds it in front. Crease violation. So even though the ball did wind up in the back of the net, crease violation, BC ball.
Saw on that play, number 2, Chloe Humphrey was being face guarded and shut off. It's all about adjustments. And as an offensive player, it's really hard to read a defense and see that they're giving you a different look and communicate through that all in real time.
Here's Rachel Clark, 1 in maroon and gold. So dangerous. Splits 2. Everything but the finish.
Great take by Rachel Clark. I like the aggression. They had the backup on net. UNC sends that slide.
Something that Sam Forrest does so well is timing those checks. It didn't come up in a cause turnover there, but it affected the shot by Rachel Clark.
What a battle that has been. Rachel Clark and Sam Forrest, one of the best defenders in the country against one of the best scorers. And that's a Boston College turnover. They were looking for Clark on the inside, maybe trying to force it to her at the beginning of this third quarter.
6th turnover for Boston College. I like the feed in there, and it just was leading her a little bit more. Her stick was open.
When you play a high-pressure style of man defense, sometimes you can get caught over-committing on the perimeter. We've seen a couple attempts at backdoor cuts. One was there where she got her stick free.
And Boston College has gone back to face guarding Ashley Humphrey. Totally out of this play, which makes it 6v6 in the offensive set.
Which is hard for offenses to adjust to when you go one look to another look, taking one player out.
Godin, great feed. What a save! Dolce to deny Marissa White. Wow!
When you talk about not all saves being created equally, Jay, on the doorstep after the slide went to the dodge, and she was wide open.
Levy can't finish that one.
They're getting looks, but just not being able to connect. 8 saves for Shea Dolce. We had a chance to talk with her yesterday, and she loves playing in these big games. Seems like she's just gotten better and better. Look at the save, that's off the shaft.
That is ridiculous. To be able to move on your line and then get to the ball out of position.
The quick instincts to cover that ground. Shea Dolce been starting since her freshman year in goal for BC. Now a junior. She's never lost here in Charlotte at the ACC tournament.
And you see her getting into a rhythm. She saved 6 of the last 7 UNC shots.
Green card has come out.
Foul
Denny
committed
Levy
in the midfield.
not happy.
Officials are calling for illegal use of the stick by 18 Ashley Humphrey.
And that's what the call they'll use for a lot of those checks into the body area. Those physical fouls between the 30s get awarded a green card, which is 1 minute releasable. So let's watch the pressure and a swiping check. It doesn't make contact with the body, but some of those dangerous swipes the officials will whistle and call.
You get a sense from my vantage point on the field, guys, that there's a little bit of frustration from Ashley Humphrey. Marie McCool, the offensive coordinator, saying you have to dodge. You can't just take yourself out of the play. She wants the ball. I think there's some frustration there. She's not getting it.
It's a good pickup. We saw her score from below goal line extended. She does not need a lot of room, and she can challenge and go. She's got to do both. If you're looking to pass, you also need to be able to looking to score.
BC midway through this power play. But the scoring is really slowed down in this championship game. Each team had 5 goals apiece in the first 15 minutes. LaPinto teed up Colbert. Nelson saved it with her helmet. Back to even strength. Boston College, the shot clock resets.
A lot of times you see teams overload the goal circle or the crease area when they are a woman up.
The Eagles couldn't cash in on the power play opportunity, but still with the ball here. Davis going against Ellie Traggio. Colbert trying to get the follow. Couldn't scoop it up cleanly. And it once again will stay BC ball after a UNC save. So this has been a long Boston College offensive possession.
BC's had a hard time finding those feeds in the middle.
Eagles have just converted 2 of their last 13 shot attempts. Driscoll double teamed. Drives right through it. Driscoll on the run. Goes to goal and scores. Simultaneous whistle, so count the goal for Molly Driscoll.
Tournament is a gauntlet. 3 games in 5 days is no easy task, let alone against the competition that you have, and you've got the #1 and #2 teams in the nation battling it out, and it feels like it's been those two many times.
That was a common theme about playing 3 games in 5 days and how hard it is to prepare for the next opponent, how hard it is to recover your bodies at this point in the season.
Well, there's so much at stake, Sheehan and Charlotte, and at that quarter break, the halftime break, both coaches met with all 4 officials, so meeting of the mind, specifically addressing the draw, just watching for some of that holding on the draw circle as possession is at a premium.
Midway through this third quarter, tied at 8, 2 perennial powers that have lived up to the hype. This rivalry seemingly always delivers, even more so when there's a trophy on the line. Chloe Humphrey denied by Dolce. What a save, Shea Dolce, her 9th of this championship game, and that might be the best of the bunch.
Shea Dolce, the ability for her to explode to the ball. She uses her entire body. Great stick, she's got excellent height, great presence and body language. Telling us yesterday that pressure is a privilege, just how much she loves these big games going against some of the best shooters in the nation.
Well, we just showed you the back-to-back BC ACC championships. Dolce started in goal for both of them. Now in her junior season, has never lost an ACC tournament game. Won a national championship last year as well. So she has played in big games and risen to big moments. Foul called. Maria Themelis passes off. Nothing there for Devin Russell. They go to LaPinto, and Betty Nelson with a spectacular save. So the goalie's really starting to take over in this third quarter.
Really impressed with Betty Nelson, reading Emma LaPinto there. That's something you got to scout, and she told us this week that she looks at the shooter's tendencies, but Emma LaPinto is usually so deceptive coming around that crease and buries those shots.
And Sheehan, that's what's so special about these teams meeting more than once, is they start to recognize tendencies of a shooter. It's something you scout as a goalkeeper, and shooters scout goalies they're facing as well.
And you saw that great fake high by LaPinto. Betty Nelson bites for it, but then she also sticks her leg out to come up with the save.
Kate Levy charges in.
I'm surprised no foul called on that. Ashley Humphrey able to get the ball, though.
Finds her younger sister. Save made Dolce again. She is locked in.
You can see the goalies just really playing a big-time effort in this game. The energy, Chloe Humphrey gets the ball. They've been able to create space for her, and she can take her matchup. Will the slide be coming to her?
Chloe Humphrey with her fast feet, two-handed. Tough to get by. Shea Baker, one of the best defenders in the game.
We talk about the heavyweight matchup on the other side. Sam Forrest and Rachel Clark, equally as intriguing. Chloe Humphrey and Shea Baker.
Chloe Humphrey shakes free and scores! But a crease violation, wave off the goal. It stays tied at 8. North Carolina coaching staff is livid. Let's take another look.
Her foot goes
In the
inside
crease.
the crease, and it doesn't look to me like she's pushed. She does fall to the ground, but
Great call. Rachel Clark rings it off the pipe, inches away from putting BC back in front.
That's that backdoor opportunity that they're looking for on both sides, with players being so tightly marked on the perimeter. If you're able to beat them with your speed, you try the backdoor cut.
good defense to force out. UNC locking off on the off-ball players. It's hard to give those outlet passes.
McKenna Davis scrambles to recover. Brooklyn Walker-Welsh all over Davis. Davis trying to spin through it. Finds Emma Pinto. Shot clock with 18 seconds left on it. Molly Driscoll, the lefty, trying to muscle her way in. Goes to goal. That's the second pipe on this possession. A fresh shot clock for Emma Pinto.
You see how much this North Carolina defense trusts their 1v1 defense. When they pressure out on the off-ball players so much, it's hard to slide. So you know they're really, really buying into owning their matchups and staying in front of them, containing the Boston College attack.
Mia Mascone trying to weave her way through. Nothing there. Rachel Clark regathers. This has been a long Boston College possession. Can they find the back of the net? Great look, perfectly placed. McKenna Davis delivers BC a 9-8 advantage.
A role reversal. We are so used to seeing McKenna Davis find her teammate Rachel Clark streaking down the middle, but this time it's Clark who draws the double team and finds the skip pass to McKenna Davis, who uses her IQ to slice through the gap on the backside, presenting a clean target to Rachel Clark. Sometimes as a Dodger, when you have the double team on you, it is incredibly difficult to see the passing lanes. And right there, she finds the lefty feeder, who finishes it for her second goal of the day.
I like that McKenna Davis is trying to find herself in ways to score. We've seen her try to do the one-on-one dodge, trying to muscle in, the cut there.
And to your point, we've seen what this North Carolina defense is choosing to do on McKenna Davis, and that's not slide. So a lot of times you have to challenge if that's the case. On both sides, you're seeing these offenses read the defense in front of them.
And Rachel Clark doing a nice job. The double team came to her and she moved it.
Shea Baker right off the draw, goes to goal. Couldn't get it away cleanly. The North Carolina possession, the Tar Heels won the run out. Now remember, North Carolina scored 8 seconds into the third quarter. Since they have been scoreless, they have missed their last 6 shots. What needs to change with the way the Tar Heels are running offense right now?
Well, they're going against a really hot goalie. Shea Dolce has stolen some of those goals. When you're going against a really good goalie that's making saves, you just got to take your extra second. It's throwing in the fake and really not being baited. Dolce is known to throw things in that will make a shooter hesitate a little bit. So take your time, extra breath, and look for the net.
Marissa White goes to goal. Dolce, another save. Humphrey fires it up. And BC closest to the ball. 11 saves for Shea Dolce.
Sheehan, I've lost count of the amount of end-line runouts that these teams are battling on, going in different directions. Those plays are momentum-changing plays.
BC turns it over, a failed clear, gives the ball back to Carolina. Just under 30 seconds remaining in this third quarter, a chance to tie it at 9. Tar Heels turn it over. Very sloppy finish to this third quarter. Eagles with time now. Mia Mascone storming. Tried to squeeze it to Rachel Clark. And that will finish it. We head to the fourth quarter with an ACC championship on the line. 15 minutes remaining. And Shea Dolce at Boston College, a 1-goal advantage. You'll hear from North Carolina head coach Jenny Levy when we come back as the top-seeded Tar Heels trail by 1. A thrilling finish sure to come in this fourth quarter. North Carolina, 5 goals in that first quarter, but only 3 since. And the undefeated top-seeded Tar Heels trail by 1 as we begin this fourth quarter. They do win the opening draw.
Excellent job by Sophie Student. You see her track it in the one-arm reach and then control the ball.
But that really is the story in this game. Jenny Levy nailed it. Dolce dialed in cage for BC. 9 saves since she allowed those 5 first quarter goals, 11 on the day.
The last 3 games, Dolce's had double-digit saves, averaging 69%.
Quick stick finish, beats Dolce there, and Marissa White ties it at 9.
What a quick strike finish. This comes off winning the draw control possession. Great ball movement. Caroline Godine doesn't have it, but Marissa White does. She's wide open with that cut. This is the patience. They're not forcing it. White really recognizes when her defender turns her head and she can be open to score. She gets her first goal of the game. Saw her score behind the back earlier in this ACC tournament. Versus Clemson, 3 goals and her 36th goal this season.
And when you don't have the ball in your stick a lot, you're not taking a lot of dodges, you got to be an off-ball threat, and the way to do that is to watch what your defender is doing. A lot of times, offensive players can get caught watching the dodger, and you get into trouble there, but watching your defender can create opportunities like that with high IQ by Marissa White.
That goal ends a 15-minute, 33-second scoring drought for North Carolina and ties this championship game up at 9. Another huge draw control win for the Tar Heels.
Great pickup by Kate Levy. You see just the heart and hustle. These extra possessions, this is what it's going to come down to. The draws, the ground balls, the shot run-outs.
And this game is the 3rd game in 5 days here in Charlotte for both of these teams. Who has the energy, the legs to finish strong in a tied game with an ACC championship on the line?
This is when you got to dig deep. I would say when you look at the earlier games, it does seem that BC has some of the more physical games, a little bit more physically demanding, but when a championship's on the line, you just got to find the extra effort.
And North Carolina's quarterback, Ashley Humphrey, still being shut off. She's been a non-factor so far. Good save by Dolce.
And that's a hard angle. Vergano is the natural lefty, so she was trying to set up her dodge down the alley there to get her hands free, but she was running out of daylight there. So Dolce holds her pipe well.
And when you're a left-handed shooter going against a right-handed goalie, coming down the alley like that, that's not the right look. You can see this release point, not much angle. Easy save for Dolce to make it her 12th of the game.
Timeout taken by Acacia Walker at Boston College before their first possession of this fourth quarter, tied at 9. You do not want to miss this finish.
To add Northwestern in the mix, the top 3 teams in the nation are so close, and then there's a big separation. But you look at the last meeting in April 5th, UNC won by a goal. BC led 5-2 at the first quarter, and it was a supporting cast. Caroline Godin stepped up huge, but back and forth, and you could tell that these two teams were destined to meet again.
Coach Walker out of that timeout. Such a motivational speaker, Charlotte, as you know, turning to all of the girls in the huddle saying, you're not tired. Think of what you've done this season. When she stops being a head coach, I think she's got a real shot at being a motivational speaker.
These two programs, both head coaches, do such a good job of preparing their team for moments like this. Even when you feel like you have no gas left in the tank, you dig deep, you turn to your teammates, and you lean on them for an extra boost. But both coaches do such a good job of getting everything out of the team themselves.
You want to leave nothing out there.
Quick restart. Clark, a beautiful feed. Kylie Colbert fires Boston College in front, 10-9, 3 minutes into this fourth quarter.
A perfectly executed restart off of the dot. You've got a defender behind you. That means there's a man-up opportunity somewhere. And Rachel Clark quickly finds a cutting Kylie Colbert. So important on plays like this, 8 meters or dot plays, when you have someone behind you, to have layered cuts on the interior. And that's what Colbert does right there. That's why she's open down the middle on the backside.
So Boston College noses in front after the Colbert goal. So this is the 5th time since 2022 that these two programs, Boston College and North Carolina, have met as 1 versus 2 in the nation. And it has produced 3 one-goal games. We are trending to another close finish here to decide the 2025 ACC championship. Big draw control win by Shea Baker.
She's been great on the draw circle. We talk about her as a matchup defender, but also a key factor in getting those possessions. Isolation slides coming early. Somebody's got to be open. Great skip pass.
Emma Pinto bounces that wide. McKenna Davis, the BC quarterback, resets. 2 goals, 2 assists for Davis in this championship. Trying to find Colbert again. Pass a little behind her. Mia Mascone recovers it for the Eagles.
And the scout on McKenna Davis is that she's a feeder, so when the slide goes, you got to get on her hands to deter the pass.
Davis lost her footing, still got it out very creatively to Mia Mascone. Avery Hudson trying to keep it in play. Emma Pinto's back there as well.
Mascone struggled with some of her passes. A couple going too high, that one a little low. BC will maintain possession. They like Rachel Clark starting with the ball.
They just scored off this very dot. Clark this time takes it herself and scores! Rachel Clark, the nation's leading goal scorer, showing why. And Boston College leads by 2.
91 goals this season, leads the nation. She's on a mission. You can see a different fire in her eye. When the ball is in her stick, she's looking to create and make a play. This time she takes it to herself. The defense does not collapse and shut her down. They don't match stick to stick, and she's able to finish, whether it's the assist or the goal. This is her senior season. Started her career at UVA, ACC Freshman of the Year there. Transferred last year to BC, won a national championship, and it is clear she has taken her game to another level after suffering the loss to UNC in the regular season.
She's been able to test her matchup. A lot of the adjustments we've seen on the field in the second half have come from the sidelines, but Rachel Clark testing on the first dot play, it was the feed, and on the second one, it was the ability to dodge and get your hands free before the slide could meet you.
And that's one of the things that Keisha Walker told us, that in that first meeting, she told her players, be unselfish. And she thought it maybe messed up Rachel Clark a little bit, said, I need you to be selfish going to goal. You are a goal scorer. Be unselfish outside the field with your leadership, with your time. But you can see that that's not a bad thing to be selfish as a goal scorer. When you have the opportunity, you got to take it. And when she hasn't had it, she's dished the ball out. So a great complete player that has stepped up.
You can see Ashley Humphrey, North Carolina's leading point scorer with 98 on the season, still being shut off, top of your screen, by number 22, Michaela O'Connor. I feel like you got to get her involved here in the fourth quarter. The quarterback of this Tar Heels offense, 0 goals, 0 assists today. And this is for an ACC championship. I know they're face guarding her, but there's ways you can attack it, and haven't seen that many attempts. This is a free position for Caroline Godine. Passes out of it.
And Jay, to your point, another way to attack the face guard is to go on the inside and work off ball, use picks and screens, try to create mismatches and chaos within a defensive set.
They're playing into what BC wants. BC wants to deny Ashley Humphrey the ball. She starts a lot of the offense and the assister.
And Sheehan, you're seeing a double face guard on both Humphrey sisters. You've got Chloe Humphrey and Ashley Humphrey being shut off on opposite ends.
And they're pulling them both out, so a lot of room.
Godine beats Dolce back to the goal. Shea Dolce, the BC goalie, caught cheating there, and Godine makes her pay, and it's a 1-goal game.
Caroline Godine's IQ is off the charts. You got tons of space when you have 2 players being shut off and denied the ball. They're outside the perimeter, so now it's 5-on-5. The double team fades to Kate Levy, and it's Godine sneaking to the backside of the crease. All season long, we've seen Godine evolve as an off-ball presence for this Tar Heels offense. She's constantly reading and orchestrating the backside as double teams have gone to her teammates time and time again.
Godine had one of her best games in that regular season meeting. Love her awareness here. Shea Dolce gets overly aggressive, tries to go for that interception, is not able to recover. But Godine coming around the crease recognizes seeing the space in net, what Jenny Levy was talking about. Instead of taking a couple steps to get a better angle, you don't need a better angle. The goal is wide open. She finishes and scores. Great goal. And with both Humphrey sisters being face guarded, that gives you a lot of room. Instead of playing 7-on-7, you're playing 5-on-5.
And when this game finishes, we've got you covered. The All-ACC post-game show. Taylor Tannenbaum, Rachel DeCecco. We'll have the trophy ceremony, player interviews, a complete breakdown of what have been an epic lacrosse game. 1 versus 2 in the nation, battling for an ACC championship. Chloe Humphrey passes off. Tar Heels trying to deny Boston College a three-peat here in Charlotte. They have never lost on this field.
Got to be quicker for UNC with that pass once the double team comes.
Godine been aggressive in this fourth quarter. She was the catalyst to win the regular season matchup. Scored 2 of the Tar Heels' last 3 goals to win it.
Early double team is going to Eliza Osborne as she's been an offensive threat for the Tar Heels today.
Devin Russell got her stick in the way, but the Tar Heels recover, but it's stolen back. Morgan Smith. Great defensive effort there. What a motor the transfer from Penn has.
Great defensive effort for Boston College. Can UNC create a turnover? They're very good in their defense in the clear.
Well, the biggest reason they're 17-0 on the season has been that pressure defense. Boston College has done well to overcome it so far, clinging to a 1-goal lead midway through this fourth quarter.
UNC ready to send that slide. They don't want to have Rachel Clark attack. What a pickup. Ellie Traggio, she's been great this tournament with the pickup. She's on the move.
Finds Godine. No angle. Curls around the cage. Finds Chloe Humphrey. The extra pass. And the Tar Heels tie it at 11. Addison Patillo as the Tar Heels cash in transition.
I'm starring this goal. This is a momentum shift for UNC. The turnover on offense and the ground ball pickup by Ellie Tragio. Running with speed. Look at her head. She's scanning and delivering. Codeine does not force it. She waits for the pass. But I love here, Chloe Humphrey doesn't get selfish with the score. Instead, she does the right move, the pass to Patillo. Freshman to freshman, the pump fake, and score against a tough goalie in Shea Dolce.
So after the Patillo goal, Jenny Levy takes a timeout. Let's listen in to the Tar Heels huddle, tied at 11.
But let's be calm here, right? Stay poised, do the simple well, everything else follows when you do the simple well, okay?
Right, you're demon and you're a photo, okay? You're focused on that. Avery, you're on the circle and you're on the other side, okay? There you go.
The little things that we control, let's keep on controlling them. Let's go.
Great leadership there from the captain, Brooklyn Walker-Welsh, one of the best defenders in the college game, as the Tar Heels have stolen momentum in this fourth quarter. Back-to-back goals for #1 North Carolina, looking for a program 8th ACC championship, most all time, or BC is looking for their 3rd straight. What is going to separate these two teams down the stretch with 7 minutes, 18 seconds remaining?
I think it's exactly what you heard in the UNC huddle, the little things out there. And it's like that last scoring play for UNC, the right decisions. When the game is so close, people want to step up, but are you going to step up and do the right decision? And I thought there were so many great decisions made on that last play. Ellie Tragio not trying to take it end to end. The pass, Godine recognizing she didn't have the right shot. Chloe Humphrey recognizing that somebody was open with a better shot, and then the extra second. Making those decisions for both these teams is going to be key.
And so much of that starts right here at the draw control circle, where it's often become a 50-50 ball.
And it's won by Kaylee Harden and the Tar Heels. North Carolina shooting a lot better in this fourth quarter, too. They were just 1 of 8 shooting in the third quarter, 3 of 4 so far in the fourth.
Carolina has won that draw control battle, 15-10.
Harden spinning past Shea Baker. Ashley Humphrey was open and calling for it, and North Carolina doesn't go to their quarterback.
And when you're being face guarded, you only have a split second, so you have to be on the same page as the teammate adjacent to you, just like that, as Chloe Humphrey receives this ball.
Chloe Humphrey in attack mode, the fearless freshman. Contact, no call. Battle for the ground ball. Won by North Carolina. Kylie Motis in perfect position to recover that one for the Tar Heels.
Motis, just an excellent midfield play, coming up with that possession that could easily go the other direction. Shot clock does not reset.
It ticks under 20. Not much time here for the Tar Heels. 6 minutes remaining in regulation. Addison Patillo, another one of these fearless freshmen. Quick restart, Kaylee Harden, 5 seconds to shoot. Harden on the redodge, Dolce the save. And now a fresh shot clock. Caroline Godine settling things down for this North Carolina offense.
But Jay, I agree with you. When you have a player being face guarded, especially like your quarterback, Ashley Humphrey, when she's open, you got to give her the ball.
Marissa White fires North Carolina in front. How quick is her release? A beautiful goal, and the Tar Heels take the lead.
We talked about the margins being razor thin. The ball moves through the crease. That opens up this back pipe cut by Marissa White. Eyes up by Kylie Motis. The dynamic midfielder inverting down there around the goal circle with her head up. Feels like Marissa White steps up in the biggest of moments for this Tar Heels team. Playing that off-ball role, always reading the defense. But to catch that under pressure and finish on the inside is incredibly impressive.
She's had 2 key goals in this fourth quarter, just recognizing when she's open. I love the feeds that are being thrown into her. She was an honorable mention All-American her freshman year, 46 goals, but did not play last year. But this is the supporting cast that we've talked about on both these teams that need to step up.
And another draw control win for Sophie Student. The Tar Heels with all the momentum right now with a little more than 5 minutes left to play. North Carolina has scored 3 straight goals, and this is the first Tar Heels lead since it was 8-7.
Both Ashley and Chloe Humphrey being shut off, denied the ball. So look how much room in space. This opens up the lanes for dodging, makes it much easier to feed.
And we keep saying they should be working to get the Humphrey sisters the ball. They're being pretty effective in the 5v5 set. Almost another goal there. Shea Dolce to the rescue.
We know about the depth that this North Carolina offense has, particularly from the midfield, and we've seen them rely heavily on it in this matchup and in the prior matchup between these two teams.
Dolce's 14th save to keep it a 1-goal game. Morgan Smith passes out of the double team. Good clear. And the Eagles a chance to tie it at 12.
Feels like the ball has been on UNC's side for a long time, so smart for Boston College to reset and get everyone settled.
And this is who you want with it. One in maroon and gold, nation's leading goal scorer. Passes out of it. Kate Levy caused turnover. And she is storming down the field. North Carolina has numbers. Levy all the way to goal and scores! What a goal! Kate Levy runs full field and puts the Tar Heels up by 2.
What a play for the freshman. Jenny Levy's daughter, Kate Levy, 12th goal this season, but watch the defense here. The check, the ground ball, her speed is on display. A huge soccer star in high school as well. Excellent two-way midfielder. The finish, the score right between the legs of Shea Dolce.
We just talked about the depth of this midfield, and although they're freshmen, they are making big-time plays when the stakes are ultra high in an ACC championship game.
Kate Levy, more than anybody, knows the expectations of this program. She's lived it every day of her life, being the daughter of head coach Jenny Levy. And she scores the goal to put North Carolina up by 2. The Tar Heels on a 4-0 run. Let's take a look at all 4 goals. It started with Caroline Godin.
Just really heads-up play. Look at the passing here. I love that sequence. I thought the decision-making was superb. Sharing of the ball, this UNC offense, they went through a scoring drought and had a hard time scoring, but players like Marissa White stepping up.
They did, and half these goals came in transition, and half of them came in a 5-on-5 set. So they're getting it done in different ways, adjusting to the double face guard, removing Ashley Humphrey and Chloe Humphrey from the play, but sparking so many opportunities with their speed from defense to offense.
And what has been critical during this 4-goal scoring surge for Jenny Levy's team is the Tar Heels have won 6 of the last 7 draws.
It's about the possessions, the little things. Shea Dolce also in cage, though, has been extremely strong. 14 saves on the day. The Tar Heels have found a rhythm. She was really hot, but taking that extra time. I think there is a matter of just assessing where you are. These are all great shooters, but get that extra second. Plenty of time left on this clock, but this draw control is huge, and Morgan Smith now taking the draw for Boston College.
Her older sister, Ryan Smith, an excellent draw taker for the Eagles throughout her storied career. including a national championship a year ago. Shea Baker stormed in there, couldn't control the ground ball, and it's Kaylee Harden who has it. The Humphrey sisters have been shut off for much of this game, and yet it's the Tar Heels supporting cast that has stepped up in this championship game. 2-goal lead for North Carolina, and you can afford to sit on the ball as this tick winds down. Clock ticks down to near 3 minutes remaining.
You want to be smart with this because we've seen this happen. I mean, Charlotte, you know that teams sometimes get themselves rattled when they're trying to take time off the clock.
You have to continue to attack, and you mentioned the possessions, the winning of the draw controls by the Tar Heels. This is a Boston College defense that has played a lot of minutes in the second half.
Now this is 5v5 with the two Humphrey sisters standing in the corners of the field. So much space to operate in. Harden goes to work. Tar Heels have taken a lot of time off this clock. 20 seconds left to shoot. Godine finds Kaylee Harden, doesn't shoot, flips it right back to Caroline Godine. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Chloe Humphrey breaks free of the face guard. Harden spins in. Contact, no call. Shot clock violation.
I'm surprised we didn't see a call in that last play. Are some whistles on the field, but it's going to be Boston College's ball.
Clock continues to run, less than 2 minutes remaining. Boston College, no timeouts remaining. You got to be careful in this clear against Carolina's pressure.
Carolina needs to be careful not to be too physical in the midfield. You don't want to go down a player. Dolce getting involved.
Way out of her cage.
Yeah, smart play, getting it downfield. Morgan Smith open and nice outlet.
90 seconds remaining in regulation. Mascone, so crafty, passes off Molly Driscoll. Earned shooting space, and this will be a free position for the sophomore Molly Driscoll.
Ball movement was key, love the pump fake to get the shooting space call.
And it was Mia Mascone, who's had 3 goals on the day, who started that party, drawing the double team to free Driscoll on the backside.
Driscoll charges in and scores! Molly Driscoll makes it a 1-goal game with 1:13 remaining.
We talk about all the attention on the big 3, Rachel Clark, Emma Pinto, and McKenna Davis. But it's Mia Mascone and Molly Driscoll who connect to set up this shooting space play. Driscoll buries it through contact on that short side, the near side pipe of a right-handed Betty Nelson. In the biggest moment when her team needed one.
North Carolina has won 7 of the 8 draw controls. That would all be forgotten if Acacia Walker's draw control unit can come up with this one.
This is huge, going back to using Morgan Smith against Sophie Student.
Here we go, come on! Let's go, Sue!
They're trying to make this a ball to the circle.
Student wins it to herself. The shot clock is off. So it's a game of keep away for #1 North Carolina. BC has to pressure.
Sophie Student's 6th draw does such a good job keeping it close, reacting off the whistle.
Shea Dolce is out of her cage. This is an empty net. And Jenny Levy elects to use a timeout. Now, unlike in hockey, when there's an empty net, you actually don't want to score in this situation, right, Sheehan? You'd rather hold the ball, drain the clock.
Especially in the sport of lacrosse. I saw yesterday in the men's game a goal being scored within 5 seconds. You can score so quickly. In the women's game, I've seen it as quick as 6 seconds. So if you score an empty net, you bring possession back to the draw circle. Now, UNC has had the edge in getting possession from the draw circle, but you want to try to just hold the ball.
Trying to listen in to Marie McCool and Jenny Levy's huddle.
They're coming out. Hey, here we go. Let's finish. Goalie. They're going to pull their goalie, all right? So the defense needs to support behind, all right? Here we go.
Eliza, start the ball. Yes, if you're in trouble, divide up the net.
50 seconds stand between North Carolina and another ACC championship. If you're Boston College, you know you need to create a turnover.
And they're going to double the ball. So it sounds like they're going to pull the goalie and Shea Dolce leave the net open, try to force them to score. This is why Jenny Levy called a timeout, because players, sometimes their mind goes blank in these situations. Reminding them, we're not looking to score. They believe they're going to release the face guards, obviously, and they just want to try to come up with a double team. And it looks like UNC, Eliza Osborne, I believe, is going to start with the ball in her stick, and she's just going to have to run away from the pressure. And they also want the defenders behind the restraining line to be an option. You can utilize the entire field. And Boston College, this is stuff you practice all the time. When the clock is winding down, how do you get the ball back? They're going to start likely with a double team on ball, just trying to get pressure.
All the time, to your point, Sheehan. It's like a 2-minute drill in football. You practice situations like this every day of the week. 50 seconds on the clock. You need to hold the ball or you need to get the ball. It is situational lacrosse.
Avery Hudson and Shea Baker will look to double team, collapse right when the whistle starts and try to force the pass. You see all the off-ball players locked in.
North Carolina still has 1 timeout remaining, so if the Tar Heels get in trouble, they can use that final timeout. It's a game of keep away with an ACC championship on the line. Osborne showing the speed. The double team hasn't touched her.
She can keep running. She can utilize the whole field, not a certain area. You need to keep it in.
Under 30 seconds remaining. Osborne, empty net, does not shoot. 20 seconds left in this ACC championship. Chloe Humphrey doesn't go to goal. Time continues to tick down. 5 seconds remaining. And Humphrey scores to finish it. Chloe Humphrey ices an ACC championship for #1 North Carolina.
Excellent display of patience. Eliza Osborne running that clock off, and Chloe Humphrey, as the clock winds down, that's not the right time for the shot. She wants a few more seconds ticking off the clock, and is able to seal the win in the ACC championship with that shovel shot goal. That is so tough for a defense to have to run and chase and try and come up with a turnover.
It's an exhausting trap defense to play. Credit to the North Carolina athletes for running through that pressure.
An incredible game that lived up to the hype. #1 versus #2, and it certainly felt that way here at the ACC championship. But it is North Carolina who stays perfect. They will surely get that #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament as well.
You can see the sideline celebrations already starting to happen for UNC as the officials figure out what this last call was.
All it's doing is delaying the celebration that's about to take in the top-seeded Tar Heels. ACC champions again.